Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of The MCR. Mac and me, my name's TJ, two elderly gentlemen from the southeastern area of the Great Lake state of Michigan. In this segment, I'd like to talk about some off year elections, not necessarily in Michigan, but in a few other places. And I'm concerned. Some of these people who are running for office are, are down. It's downright disconcerting the position of some of these candidates running for office. Okay, right out of the gate, we'll talk about Virginia, and I'm pretty infuriated with the Republican Party in that we have a sitting Republican governor who cannot run for re-election. Okay, so the lieutenant governor, Winsome Earl Sears, she's running for governor, and I don't get it, Mac. I just don't get it. The Republicans threw in the towel on this election. Initially, maybe not now, but initially they were like, "Oh, this Abigail Spanberger is going to win, and we don't want to waste the money there in Virginia." So they're letting uh, Winsome Earl Sears just kind of out on her own, kind of.
Yeah.
And and I'm thinking we've got a sitting Republican governor. Why are you throwing in on this election? Throwing in the towel on this election, you
Well,
know?
they probably figure the governorship isn't that important. They're more concerned with House seats and Senate seats and the presidency, of course, but uh, or that she's just going to hold her own because the Democrats are and this woman who's and her name escapes me at the moment, but she's on the 10% of every argument.
Oh, you're talking Abigail Spanberger?
Yeah, she's
Yeah, the
on the 10.
Democrat.
She takes the 10% of every argument,
Yeah. Uh,
and I think maybe the thought process is that'll take care of itself.
and the irony here is Winsome Earl Sears, the Republican candidate, black woman, Abigail Spanberger, white Democrat woman, you know?
Yeah, who says that we need diversity?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
And
they talk about ironic.
now I'll tell you what's thickened the mix, as I like to say in the Virginia politics, is down ballot state attorney general. The incumbent, Jason Mieres, and I don't even know if I'm saying his last name correctly. Miyres is his last name. If I'm mispronouncing his last name, Republican. Republican. He's currently the state attorney general. He is favored to win. So I'm trying to figure that out. The Republican is favored to win in the attorney general election, yet the Democrats favored for the governor.
Well, do you trust polls? Because I don't.
Well, no, I
And
don't.
when was the last time you were called for a poll?
Yeah, really. Uh,
Dole Clinton was the last time I was.
but I'll tell you what's thickened the mix here is you got this goofball Jay Jones, and I guess a few years back he was he was texting uh, a person, and I forget the person's name. I because I did look it up and read about it, but he was texting this person, and in the text of this person he was exchanging texts with were the phrases, and he was referring to Jason, the Republican. Okay, Jason Mieres, if I'm like as I'm butchering his last name, sorry, uh, said that he wanted the Republican candidate, we'll say, to get two bullets in the head, and then further in the text, referring to the children, that he was fine with them dying in their mother's arms. Now, this guy will not withdraw from the race. He's apologized and he's learned from his mistakes, but you're the attorney general, the chief law enforcement officer in the state of
Right.
Virginia is basically texting death threats.
Well, he has homicidal fantasies. That ought to concern everyone.
Yeah, he won't withdraw from the race. And then here's the thing: the Democrat Abigail Spanberger running for governor, while she kind of condemns it, she will not call for him to withdraw from the race.
Well, they don't condemn it. They're for it.
Hmm.
They were for the murder of Charlie Kirk. They were for the murder of Donald Trump. They're still for the murder of Donald Trump. And I don't believe for 1 minute these assassination attempts are over.
Well, going back to, and I guess last week, this past week, Virginia had a televised debate between Winsome Earl Sears and Abigail Spanberger. And Winsome Earl Sears was calling out Spanberger, saying, "Hey, you won't even ask for him to withdraw from the race." And she goes, "Do you condone this?" And from what I read in the video I saw, Spanberger looked like a deer in the headlights. All right. In saying all this, the race is literally up for grabs now. And now the Republicans have decided, you know what, maybe we will put some more money towards Winsome Earl Sears. Now that they think, hey, we got it. You know what I'm saying is before they didn't feel they had a chance, so
Yeah.
they didn't support her financially. But now they're thinking, oh, we got a chance. We need to support her financially when they should have been doing that all along. I'm belaboring the
Well,
point.
my irritation comes here. They're not supporting her. She's a solid conservative, but they got money for Lisa Murkowski and Susan
Oh,
Collins,
yeah.
who are repeatedly stabbing us in the back.
Exact. You know what? Touche to that point. One final thought on this, and then we'll move on to the next vertically fornicated election.
Okay.
My one final thought here is, uh, if these Democrats win, and I'm going to quote, I think the guy's name is Oliver Anthony. He's a little bit of a goofball. I would tell you, but the guy who did the song Rich Men North of Richmond. Well,
Yeah.
if these Democrats win, you can thank those rich men north of Richmond,
Oh yeah.
because
Well,
to them,
they like the status quo because they're fine.
yeah, and to them we're just the smelly Walmart people too, to quote
Yeah.
Peter Stroke, you know,
Well,
who lives
you
in
are.
that area. But
Yeah. Well, he's a piece of human excrement.
so, anyways, so much for the Virginia chaos. All right, unless you got any more thoughts on that, Mac.
No, like I said, I don't know that they're terribly concerned because I think they think she's going to win because this woman is choosing the 10% argument, and nationally, it's not playing. Democrats are disgusted with their own party. I mean, real Democrats, not these these communists that call themselves Democrats or even liberals. Uh, they're on the wrong side of every issue.
Oh yeah. Next, I'd like to go to California. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, other than you've got this Katie Porter, who is so out in left field. She's like on the warning track of left field. Okay.
Right.
Uh, and what really got her some unneeded publicity was her meltdown with a local CBS interview with a Julie Watts, and Katie Porter didn't like the line of questioning, and put her hands up and said, "I'm calling this interview. We're done here." And and if you watch the video, she says, "I don't feel good." And I thought, well, Jesus, you know, I, when you're governor, having your problems of being governor, how good are you going to feel at times?
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do? Call in sick?
Yeah, I don't feel good about this interview. I you know, and you
Well, they're not comfortable with accountability.
yeah, and
That's what it comes down to.
the whole premise was when Julie Watts questioned her on whether or not she was trying to uh, uh I don't know, in any way try to get any of the like we'll say Trump supporters who probably wouldn't vote for her anyways, but the question was,
40% she mentioned, 40%. And she said she doesn't need them.
yeah, exactly my point. You know
So
what?
she asked her the question, "Oh, you think you're going to get 60% of the vote?"
Yeah.
Of course of course she thinks that because her illegal friends are going to be voting for her because that's how they do things in the People's Republic of California.
Well, her whole attitude reeked of elitism, entitlement. Uh, and here's and I'll tell you what's fostered this is, and I know this is from another state from years gone by. What was it? Katie Hobbs in Arizona just felt all she
Hmm.
had to do was, here I am. Where's the door to the office? Type of
Well,
thing.
when you're the one certifying the election, it sure does help. And we're about to have that same situation here in Michigan with Jocelyn Benson, who's the most corrupt Secretary of State in this country.
Yeah, the Republicans are trying to get a handle on that. Whether or not they're successful, who knows? You know. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk about with Katie Porter. Just what a sense
Well,
of
one
entitlement.
more thing. I have one more thing about her. You saw the clip where she's trying to do some video and somebody's in the background and
Mm.
she's yelling at him, "Get out of my effing shot! Get out of my effing shot! You
Yep,
so and so and so." You know, as popular as Ellen DeGeneres was with people,
yep.
I liked her as a stand-up many years ago, but I didn't like her pro lesbian, always in your face with it crap and on her show and her leftist policies. Uh, but people turned on her when they found out that she treated other people very poorly, and she ended up getting run off the air. And I don't think this is going to play well for this woman. Of
Well,
course, they're so far out in the woods and, like as you said, and so far out onto the warning track in California. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
well, I meant to mention, and you just kind of reminded me. There is a Republican who isn't who I'm going to say came in second because they got that goofy voting system
Yeah,
there.
Democrats can only run
Yeah.
policy.
Well, there's a Republican, Steve Hilton. He doesn't really have much of a chance, other than he did get enough support to come in second. In the it's really weird, and I don't I hope
If
I
you come in second, you're part of the runoff,
yeah
basically.
he came in second in the runoff because they don't really have the conventional primaries that we think of as far as Democrat primary, Republican primary. It's like
Right.
one big free for all, and whoever comes in first and second is who's running against each other. Amazingly enough, Steve Hilton of the Republicans, and you know he's from Fox News, but I guess he used to live in England, and he's legally immigrated here to the United States. Now resides in California. I guess he's quite wealthy, and he's the Republican candidate for governor in California. He's not expected to win, but he is doing better than expected. So I don't know. I don't know what all that
Well,
means.
you might get the Trump effect of 2016. People are just keeping their mouth shut about it, and they're looking at this woman and saying, "No, I just can't. Things aren't good here. I'm just going to take a chance and put my money down on this guy." That could happen.
Anyways, so let's go on to the very last one, the grand poobah of them all, New York, New York. Uh,
Yeah.
Zaran Mamdani. Mac, I gotta tell you, you know what came to my mind when I first heard his name, Zaran Mamdani?
No.
Adam Sandler. You don't mess with the Zuhan.
Okay.
I mean, Zaran, Zuhan. I tell you what, this guy is such an extreme Marxist, Islamist. You know what? Let's just do a
Well,
play on
I
words.
think he's using the communist as a front to to hide his radical Islam. That's going to be a hard, even in New York, it's going to be a hard place to run as a radical Islamist.
Well, he's not hiding it very well, uh, because
But I think that's the attempt.
yeah, he called out. He's running against Andrew Cuomo, and he called out Andrew Cuomo because Andrew Cuomo wasn't going to any mosques. What do you mean? You're going to be mayor of the city and you haven't attended? You can't name a single mosque that you've attended, which the implication is he hasn't. Which maybe you know what? So what if he hasn't? You
I
know.
don't care. I don't care if he goes to churches. I don't care where he goes.
But uh, anyways, this Mom Donnie guy, he's scary news. I got to tell you, this guy is scary news. A lot of the hedge fund companies, if they haven't moved out of the state, have moved out of the city, and a lot, and
Well, for every zig, there's a zag,
yeah,
and there's a consequence to every action, whether it be a positive consequence or a negative consequence. So, hey, you know what? Go ahead and elect your radical Islamic uh, mayor, and enjoy your Sharia law and enjoy your communism and enjoy the poverty and violence that comes with communism. Enjoy it all. I couldn't care less what happens to the people in the city of New York because I'll quote the late Archbishop Fulton Sheen: "People get the government that they deserve the government they get."
Well, the candidates that are running, like we've already mentioned, uh, Zahran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa. He's running as a Republican. They don't give Curtis Sliwa chance at all. Okay, if anything, the big debate is the people who are voting for Curtis ought to be voting for Andrew Cuomo because Zahran Mamdani is that dangerous. They feel.
You got to join forces with somebody you don't like just to keep the horrible person out. And you know what, Cuomo, he'll be in there. If he gets in there, he'll be handling women again and doing all the nonsense that he does and letting people out on bail. He's not gonna really be much better.
Well, I was thinking you talk about the ultimate picking the lesser of two evils. You
Well,
know,
you're right there in that one.
it's and it so much so that there has been a debate among conservatives saying, you know what, I am not going to compromise my integrity and vote for Andrew Cuomo. They will vote for Curtis Sliwa, and in doing that, almost for sure guarantee Mamdani to win. Okay, and some
Well,
people are
people will
saying,
do it though. Watch and see.
yep, some of the people are saying, damn the torpedoes, let New York suffer for it. You know,
Yeah.
but well, and I tell you what, these
Well, they'll be looking for federal bailouts every 5 minutes,
this
just like they were in the 70s.
and and one final thought on New York City. What 24 years ago, I want to say now, that city was attacked by Islamist extremists, and now they're going to put one into the mayor's office. I just sad. It's a sad day, man. It's a sad day. Sad day. Sad
Yeah.
day. And you know what? Maybe New Yorkers need to suffer for it as I come full circle to what my
I
thoughts
believe
are.
I,
You
I,
know,
I believe I read a quote by George Washington, our first president, once. It said, "Sometimes the people must suffer greatly before they learn," and I think that's going to be the case here.
big time. That's all I got. I've said my piece. Just
Okay,
remember, don't mess with the Zohan. Okay.
that's right.
I'm telling you, when I heard the guy's name, all I could see was Adam Sandler flying through the air. You know.
Yeah.
So I just thought as corny as all of this is, this couldn't get any goofier. You know. So I've said my piece. That's it. We're done. Uh, thanks
All righty.
thanks everyone for watching, and uh, we'll catch you in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.